If you were at the DNC yesterday, you might have noticed a man in a man bun passing out QR codes promising for you to learn the truth about Project 2025. Turns out that person was Matt Walsh, a conservative host of a show on the DailyWire, who has a new film coming out called Am I Racist? And the QR code actually redirects to a website that shows the trailer for that. We're going to play part of that trailer right now.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. What's your name?
I'm Matt.
I just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
So in case you didn't catch that, that was Matt Walsh in disguise, like doing a kind of Borat undercover video thing, disguising himself as a liberal. And what we played there, that was him in a conversation with, that's Robin DiAngelo, who's the white fragility author, anti-racist scholar, activist person who has been criticized routinely, not actually just by right-wing figures, but by like everyone for the kind of narrowness of her thinking and for just making tons of money in this industry of anti-racism. I thought it was a very effective trailer that he's able to get this interview with her and she's not aware who he is. I did chuckle at it, and I chuckle at the antics of him being undercover at the convention. Doing that sort of thing.
It looks funny, and I didn't think Matt Walsh had funny in him.
I
will give him that. It was good delivery, good timing. I think there needs to be a word for this kind of on-the-spot, improvisational, character, live-acting comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll have to call it. Live acting character comedy.
Probably has a name. It's I think of the
I
Borat
tried to
guy,
find
Sacha
it,
Baron
actually.
Cohen.
Yes, so I tried
who I actually
to find
I don't think is particularly funny and is not my favorite actor.
Yeah.
And I think Borat is one of the more overhyped things of our generation. But
it was quoted by Doug Emhoff. Doug Emhoff was like, "We all have to vote for my wife," which was very good. Listen,
it did sound like Borat. I don't know if it was intentional or not.
I looked this up. There's not a name for it. I'll tell you why I looked it up. You'll like this. Maybe. You might hate it. So J.D. Vance, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what if? Because he was so different when he was at Yale, Robbie. He was just such a different guy when he was younger. People have said, and this was...
Many people are saying.
Yeah. Someone he went to, I'm forgetting her name now, Sophia, she's a public defender. They were close friends at Yale Law School. She's done a lot of podcasts. She was on The Daily and the New York Times podcast. She talked about how he was so progressive then and wanted to run for office, but the Republicans were like, you can't be this, progressive guy culturally and run with Republicans. I just heard her name. What was it? Sophia Nelson. Yes, that is who. So check her stuff out. But I think J.D. Vance has changed so much that I have a theory that he's just doing a really effective Borat right now and is doing live acting character comedy. LACC, lacking. That's what we'll call it. Or I could pronounce it the Italian way. He's latching.
I think he probably just changed his opinions a little bit over time. It's not a crime to rethink,
This is what makes me
worldview.
sleep at night, Robbie, is that it's all a fun joke for J.D. Vance.
It's all a joke.
It's all satire.
Additional jokes. The Babylon Bee had a funny one about Matt Walsh being undercover there, and what if James O'Keefe is undercover there, and they're both trying to trick each other into, I think they made it like a gay thing. Like they're both hitting on each other secretly in the undercover way that they're doing.
They both think the other one's an actual convention goer.
I did actually, when I was at the Democratic National Convention in 2016, I saw James O'Keefe pretending to be, I can't remember if he was pretending to be a Democratic activist. I can't remember if he was trying to be he was either trying to be a Bernie person or a Hillary person, and then he was fighting with the people from the other faction to make it seem like they were all at each other's throats or something. And then he was being interviewed by a journalist, and I did go, that's James O'Keefe, right? He said his name, it just didn't register with the person that was like, that he's doing an act. Yeah. So then when he made a video about it, he did credit me with knowing that it was him and ruining the joke.
I am in the James O'Keefe files somewhere. When I was a field organizer for Bernie, they did a sting operation on my roommate and dear friend. It was horrible. But I am in those videos, and all they said was Jessica Burbank's to the left of Bernie Sanders. You got me.
Yeah.
Big exposure there.
Well, we've had O'Keefe on the show a long time ago when me and Ryan had O'Keefe on and talked about a persecution he was facing at the time. Well, we've talked about some of his scoops. I think sometimes you can get interesting information. What Matt Walsh was doing was not a journalistic product. He was doing promotion for his movie. That's all fine. What James O'Keefe does is he sometimes gets interesting information about media corporations, about Pfizer and everything. But sometimes it's a little overhyped, and also if you resort to if you use false premises to get information from people, then you can't really trust necessarily what they're telling you, right? It's like you're tricking them into saying something, but so they might just be telling you what you want to hear because you're saying something crazy.
Well, unfortunately, these guys are super obvious. This guy was very obviously a plant. And
not Matt Walsh.
No, well, not Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh was...
The guy saw...
Matt Walsh is passing, to use a terminology he wouldn't appreciate.
Okay, but in that video, yes, at the convention, he has a lot of pictures of him like, LOL, guys, look at Matt Walsh at the convention.
Well, they were ready for him.
I think it's ridiculous that he got in with a disguise, but someone wearing a Democrat for Palestinian Rights shirt gets kicked out for that.
That's a good take. That's a good one.
I think that's ridiculous.
I appreciate that.
I will say, with that stuff, making it so that the campaign owns the opinions of their organizers is silly, and sometimes these operations are like, oh, we got this person to say this crazy thing, and it ends up being like, okay, people have crazy ideas, no one cares, you're drinking at a bar, talking together, you might have instigated someone to say
Right, that's
things.
exactly what I said about the journalist, undercover journalist who got who talked to I think it was Alito and Roberts and he was like, oh, big scoop on MSNBC. They're like, yeah, whatever, lady, please get away from me. Like, you might say something in order to get out of an awkward social situation that if you've misrepresented yourself is not necessarily insightful.
Yeah, I think that whatever this movie is, I will actually watch it based on this trailer. Very effective.
It's a good trailer.
I'm not going to boycott conservative media or don't give these guys a platform that we always say. I think it's fine to partake in political discourse and consume it. I don't think that's a value statement at all. And it seems like interesting, anti-woke media. About where we go too far in policing people's language and things of that nature when actually their intent is good. I think that's where things have gone too far, where we focus too much on language and not enough on action and improving conditions for people. And so they call that the post-woke left, is people who feel that way.
That's why we love you, Jessica.
Yeah, thanks. And so I'll watch Am I Racist and figure out if I'm racist, I guess.
I guess we'll all figure that out about ourselves. That does it for us this morning on Rising, and we will actually be back tomorrow.
Tonight?
And tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, tonight.
We'll be back tonight.
Oh, we'll say that with less enthusiasm. We will be back tonight to react to Kamala Harris's speech. Yay, we can't wait.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss us tonight or ever or any content. And for those of you who like to listen, while you're on the go, we are available wherever you get your podcasts.
6 seasons in a movie.
See you later.